I hope you have unlimited text messaging. By Ms. Carr. Chapter 63. Get Well Cards from the Edge 3. The Easy Messages. From Teenage Mutant Ninja Spider to The Mechanic. Subject. Get well soon and I'm sorry for how I acted lately. Dear Mr. Stark, I know you told me to call you Tony, but it doesn't feel right considering how I've acted the last few weeks. I'm sorry, I really don't want you dead. I know I said some terrible things, but I don't want that. I was mad about you telling your friend Coulson about me and the fact that you're not available to date my aunt and 100 other things, but that doesn't mean I want to lose another mentor. Did I ever tell you that the last conversation I had with Uncle Ben was a fight? I don't even remember what I said to him. It was so stupid, but I never got to apologize. I don't want that to happen again. It's my biggest regret. I really hope you don't die. They're speculating on the news that you were targeted because you hang out with people like me and that you're trying to protect us. I hope they're lying, but I am terrified to think that they're not. I don't want you in danger because of me. That's why I'm not telling Aunt May the truth, other than her constant panic. I think it's safer if people don't know. Anyway, get better soon. P.S. I think May is making you some get-well cookies. I'll try to get rid of them before they're delivered. Sorry, Uncle Ben did all the cooking before. Dear Mr. Stark, I'm so sorry to hear about what happened. I'm sure that what they're saying in the media is wrong because you're a fighter. I also need it to be wrong because in just a couple of months, you've managed to become another father figure for Peter, and he needs that. After my husband died, I was worried about Peter. It was hard raising a teenager when I had somebody else running support. It became almost impossible alone, especially after Peter came home covered in bruises because of some fight with Steve from Brooklyn. But you being around him and really taking an interest in him has helped him come out of his shell. I'm not even worried that the principal is making him see Counselor Laura twice a week during the coming school year. Maybe he needs it after everything that's happened since January. I'm sure he's telling you things that he's not telling me. He probably needs somebody else to talk to. So thank you for being there for my nephew, even though I know you have other things to do. I wish you a safe and quick recovery for your sake as well as his. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these cookies. They're store-bought, by the way, and I made sure they didn't contain anything you're allergic to. I wish you would have told me you had food allergies instead of just throwing away my cookies. I would understand. Sincerely, May Riley Parker. From The Mechanic. To Teenage Mutant Ninja Soldier. Subject, R.E. Get well soon and I'm sorry for how I acted lately. Dear number 1 intern, I think I went over the rules about using real names in these communications, but whatever. I'm okay. Please stop climbing the walls, possibly literally. I'm not allowed to go out in the suit for a few weeks, but I'm good. As soon as my handler lets me go out in public unaccompanied, I am coming to Queens to teach you not to listen to anything the media says when it comes to me. We will have to work around your new class schedule since you are going back to school next week, but it is happening. Actually, don't even listen to the SI press release because at least half of it is pure BS. Also, you should probably take whatever I tell you with a grain of salt because I may or may not have been dying of palladium poisoning for about 6 months and told no one. I am the master of pretending to be fine when I'm not. I've been working on that in therapy. Try not to do the same thing. I think your handler may have passed this information on to you, but I thought you would appreciate an actual email. I'm not lying this time. I'm doing better. Dr. Simmons is taking care of me. Remember her from when she did your assessment a couple of weeks ago? I'm being well looked after. Also, the people who tried to kill me were arrested yesterday, so no worries. And it wasn't about you or any other powered person. Little Miss Sunshine was embezzling from the Edwin Jarvis Foundation, and when I decided to appoint my new boyfriend as her co-director, she didn't like that, which is why she apparently resorted to murder. Idiot. I forgive you for what you said. I know you didn't mean it. You're just 15, and even though I was at MIT at 15, I said a lot of things to both my parents that I regret. I was an absolute nightmare to Maria. I even said a lot of things right before they died. I was pissed at my dad for making me come home for Christmas when they were just going to leave me there. They never came home, and I regretted it ever since. Just because I'm dating someone else doesn't mean that I'm not going to hang out with you. I take my pseudo-parenting thing very seriously. I would like to think of it as a big brother mentor sort of thing, but Laura pointed out that would be creepy since I think I'm just a year or two younger than your aunt. Also, just because I don't want to date your aunt doesn't mean that I don't like you or that I will stop hanging out. I do think your aunt is one cool lady. I just fell in love with someone else, and he is a great guy. A bastard sometimes, but a great guy underneath everything, and I really do love him when he's not being a self-righteous prank at least. I'll try to come over soon, maybe this Saturday after Labor Day. I'm sure you're going to need someone to commiserate with about the first few days of school. If you need me before then, Friday can get in touch. I'm working on a new AI for you. Also, please try to stay off YouTube or else Laura is going to go full parent who works as a ninja spy on you. You do not want to deal with the Laura grounding. I understand why you've been angry. I should have eased you into the fact Agent's team knows who you are. I know that you're scared, but the guy in charge now is my best friend, and his real number 2 almost died saving the world. And I think Jeffrey wants to save the world through PR, if nothing else, because apparently that's what Brooklyn boys do. They're good people, and they just want to protect you. You're a kid, even if you don't see it that way. And yes, I remember hating the K word when I was your age. You should get to do kid things like completely humiliate yourself in front of the girl or guy of your dreams. There's also homecoming. I never got that. I didn't even get to go to the prom until a couple years ago as part of a Make-A-Wish thing for a young woman dying of leukemia. Again, I was already at MIT by your age, and while I think half of the dumb things I do is because I was already in college by the time I was your age. Don't grow up too fast. All of this stuff will be waiting for you when you're old enough to deal with it. P.S. Apparently your efforts with the cookies were futile. There's a giant box from your aunt sitting in my foyer. Could you send me her email address so I can send her a thank you email? From Teenage Mutant Ninja Spider to the mechanic. Subject, R.E. Get well soon, and I'm sorry for how I acted lately. Riley Parker at starkmail.com. Although, be warned, she only checks her non-work email like twice a day, and I'm not allowed to give that one out. The cookies are store-bought. I told my aunt you are afraid to eat her cooking because you had a tiny allergic reaction the first time you visited. So the good news is you're never going to have to eat anything in our house again. Do you think you can hook me up with some cooking lessons? Otherwise, you should just bring takeout if you want to come over Saturday. I'm glad you got back before school starts. I hate school. Can I just go to college now? Also, when will I get lab time again? I know I can't be there all the time, but I can do Saturdays again. From the mechanic to Teenage Mutant Ninja Spider. Subject R.E. Get well soon, and I'm sorry for how I acted lately. I'll see what I can do about cooking lessons. College at age 15 is not as glamorous as the movies make it. I kind of wish I waited. At least now kids get to do both simultaneously. Your AP calculus class should take the edge off. Once you have your class schedule and your Laura required stuff figured out, we can both work out lab hours. Actual lab hours and no other training. Laura gets to work out that stuff now. From Tony Carbonell to Riley Parker. Subject, thank you for your cookies. Dear Miss Riley Parker, Peter gave me your email address. I hope that's okay. Also, this is my personal email address. I trust you won't give it to the tabloids. Thank you for your well wishes and the cookies. You found my favorites. They are appreciated. I'm sorry I didn't mention the allergies. I don't like for people to have to do extra things for me. Also, I'm sorry for worrying both you and your nephew. I'm sure Laura informed both of you that tales of my impending demise were greatly exaggerated. News media always exaggerates, at least when it comes to me. Sometimes it's on purpose. They have to keep those ratings up. I honestly think the shareholders started half of the rumors. I'm sorry you guys were so worried, but really I am doing better. Peter is a good kid. He's also still a kid, and I think he forgets that sometimes. I know I did, mostly because I was already in college at his age and being groomed to be the next CEO of Stark Industries. I shouldn't be used as an example of proper child development. I already emailed Peter to let him know that I'm okay, but I thought I should pay you the same courtesy. As always, thank you for the cookies. Sorry it wasn't sooner, but my handlers did not want me to do anything that could possibly raise my blood pressure, including allowing me to have email access. Although now that we're back, I suggested to Peter that we could do dinner on the Saturday after school starts back up. I can even take you to the lab so Peter can show off what he's been working on this past summer. He really is the best intern I've had. I'm going to miss his presence in the lab now that he's going to have to do more school stuff. Although I think we can arrange for him to work on weekends, if that's okay with you. Dealing with the death of a parent is hard. Honestly, I don't think I've really dealt with my parents' death until recently. But working with Peter has also helped me deal with a lot of things that I ignored for a long time. I'm glad I could be there for him. It gave me something to focus on with my boyfriend in Johannesburg doing charity work. That's another thing I trust you not to leak to the tabloids. Please feel free to contact me or my assistant, Elena Rodriguez, with whatever time works for you to see Peter's work. I'm sure you already have her number. From Riley Parker to Tony Carbonell. Subject RE, thank you for the cookies. Next Saturday is fine. Also, I'd rather have him working at SI than coming home covered in bruises. That happens less when he's working with you. Although it may be tempting to mention you have a boyfriend, the next time the reporters camp out in front of our house, I won't say anything. Your secret's safe with me. Although I am old enough to remember that Tony Stark gay sex tape scandal, so I'm not that surprised. From Tony Carbonell to Riley Parker. Subject RE, thank you for the cookies. I'm surprised you let me anywhere near your kid if you remember that particular youthful indiscretion. I'll be there. And feel free to mention I have a boyfriend to the press. I'm glad you remember, because they don't, and we can probably use that to our advantage.